Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today we are doing a bit of a follow-up video to yesterday's video. Now, in yesterday's video, we went over some of the big takeaways from the patch notes for this patch, which should be out right now for North America and coming out tomorrow for the European server. And in that video, we talked about how in the early access event for the Soviet CVs, unlike prior events where the ship that is the last ship before the tier 10, so tier 9 for most other lines, for CV lines the tier 8, as we would be expecting, gets put into the random bundles, and you have to buy, of course, however many bundles you need to buy until you get lucky on a roll and you get that ship. This event, that did not happen. Now, several have commented that it's simply because the CV lines don't have a tier 9, but I don't see why that would stop them from putting the tier 8 in there, as it is the next step toward the tier 10 and the ship that obviously most CV players at least would certainly want to get and start grinding XP on before the full line releases in another patch or two. That way you can go straight to the tier 10 once you get it. That is, of course, the appeal of these early access events to a lot of players, and two, it's just getting your hands on new content early. Now, before we go any further, I want to clarify something that I said, well, not really clarify, but correct something that I said yesterday. I misinterpreted the patch notes when they said you could get enough tokens from the event and from the daily shipments to unlock the tier 4, the tier 6, and the tier 8. It is in fact only the tier 4 and the tier 6 you can for sure unlock with the tokens that you get from playing through the Soviet aircraft event and the daily shipment of tokens that you get from, of course, playing the game every day. Now, the tier 8 is still, of course, not in the random bundles. You have to acquire the tier 8, which is the Pobeda, through the sequential bundles. It's very similar to the German CV event of, like, I think patch 8.8 or 8.9. It was quite some time ago. Not the German CV event, the British CV event, way back when they came out. You had to collect the tokens back then, unlock the sequential bundles, and then you get access to these CVs. Pretty much same thing that's happening here. So this could be an indication that this is how they're going to handle CV early releases, but I like to think that this is an indication that they're finally moving away from the random bundles for the early access event. Yada yada yada. That's yesterday's video. Go watch that if you want to get my full spiel on that. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is us asking the question, when do these early access events go too far, and when do they cross that line from being just an optional event to a money-grabbing event? There are several good arguments for both sides of this, and we're going to talk about a couple of those here today. So the first one I want to talk about is that these events are, of course, completely optional. These lines will be coming out usually 2 patches after the early access event starts for everyone to grind completely for free. So there's absolutely no need to jump on and just dump money into these early access events. In fact, I often discourage it. Now, I normally do partake in these early access events to get these tech line ships early so I can review them for you guys, so you guys can make up your mind before the line even comes out if you want to bother going up the line. However, of course, other players do want to get their hands on these ships early. Now, with prior early access events, you can normally get the mid to the upper-ish tier ships completely for free through the event, normally through grinding through some type of tokens. For example, going back to the Dutch cruisers, you could get all the way up to the tier 8 without spending a dime on the game, just by playing through the event. Same with prior events going all the way back to the American battleship split. But the tier 9 has normally been stuck in random bundles, to where you of course have to buy through the random bundles and hope you get the ship in a bundle. It could take you 2 bundles, it could take you 70, like we figured out with the Johann de Witt. Now, do keep in mind too, again, this is a tech line ship. It's not a premium ship. It has no special economic boost to it. Now, with these events too, what is pretty nice is that you do unlock these free premium camouflages for the ships as you grind through the event with the tokens. And they normally actually look pretty nice. Some of them, a lot probably figure they're a little bit too gaudy and non-historical, but the designs are nice, and as always, art department does a fantastic job carrying. And the same goes for the Soviet CVs in this event. So, in that case, they're optional. but there's a bit of a paywall if you want to get your hands on the Tier 9 soon enough. But again, it's optional. All these ships will be available for free in a couple of patches. Now, then there's the counter argument of it's, of course, leaning into that fear of missing out, FOMO, that Wargaming seems to like to press the community into so much, especially recently, especially with the Missouri event. Now, they put these brand new Techline ships in these events. Now, of course, with most of the ships, you can just play through the game, get the tokens, get them for free. But they stick that Tier 9 in that random bundle, hoping that you want to get that Tier 9 before anyone else can and get your hands on the new line early. Now, new content being in some type of early access event or early access just for people that pay for a certain service isn't a new thing in the video game industry by far. There have been plenty of premium either plans or premium whatever you want to call it in various video games and such, where you buy this premium bundle or package or whatever and you get new content before anybody else. Now with World of Warships, the way the patch cycles go, it is 2 months sometimes before other players. Normally about 10 weeks. The patches are spread out about 5 weeks apart. They used to be 4 weeks apart, but then they added in another week however long ago. So it is a decent while beforehand. And what's really funny too is that with like the Dutch cruisers and the Soviet CVs, for example, the Dutch cruiser line is fully releasing tomorrow for North America, then Thursday for the European servers. It's coming out in full, but there's little to no fanfare about it. Now, we had the Dutch Cruiser event, of course, where there's lots of fanfare about it, but it was just an early access. But now, tomorrow, the fanfare is going to be focused on Soviet CVs, as they are the next line coming out. And in 1010, when the Soviet CV line comes out fully, there's going to be little to no fanfare about that. All the fanfare is going to be on the German battle cruisers. And that's ironic because that's the exact reason that Wargaming gave for stopping CCs from posting work-in-progress content before it came out. They wanted the focus to be on what's coming out now, not what's going to be coming out. But now they've gone ahead and shifted the focus to what's coming out with all these early access events. So I think that's pretty ironic right there. Now, then of course you have the middle of these two sides. The side that says, well, there's no real harm to the early access event because it's completely optional. You don't have to do it. You aren't missing out on anything. In fact, you're paying to get what will be free in a few weeks. And Wargaming is a company. They need money to operate. So if people want to pay to get access to this stuff early, why shouldn't they allow it? But at the same time, too, some of these events are getting really pricey for what at the end of the day is a Techline ship. But however, again, it's completely optional. And that's kind of where I am on these early access events. At their core, they are mostly harmless events just for Wargaming to make a little bit extra money to, of course, run the company. Keeping the servers up costs money, developing new ship lines costs money, paying the art department costs money, so forth and so on. All the extra content they put out too, the really nice dry dock videos, the documentary style videos that they put out, quite a lot actually. I mean, like, guys, all that costs money to make. And yeah, sure, they do make a little bit of that off of the ad revenue from those videos, but it's nowhere near enough where they have to pay all those artists and stuff to render out those videos and such, and the crews that make like the videos they do on the museum ships and stuff. That all costs money to do, of course. So the game needs to make money. The company needs to make money at the end of the day. But where is that line crossed? For me, it's when they started to stick the ships in the random bundles. Like, if you want to put all these tokens in, have this event to have players play through to get these tokens, unlock these ships early, and add in a way to buy these tokens outright so the people that want the ship right now can drop their credit card and say, hey, I want it right now, fine. Whatever. It's optional. You can get the ship for free just by waiting a little while and having the whole line come out. Let us not forget that these are tech-line ships. They are what you're supposed to grind to get, you know? But when you start putting the very attractive, high-tier ships in these random bundles, and, well, they said they were going to disclose the drop rates. I don't see them doing that this patch, of course. They certainly haven't announced it. Hopefully we start to see it pretty soon, because again, that's one of the things you said you do, Wargaming. I want to see that pretty soon. You stick them in here. The player doesn't really know what they're buying for, what they're paying for. Like, I know if I need, I don't know how much it costs, if I need 20,000 Soviet tokens to get the Pobeda, I know that I need to buy 20,000 Soviet tokens, and I can see how much that costs me. So I, as a consumer, understand, okay, I'm paying this much to get these tokens to get this ship. I fully understand what's going to happen. But of course, with the random bundles, it's gambling. You don't know how much it's going to take. It could take 1,000 doubloons. It could take 70,000 doubloons. That is where the line is crossed for me. And that's why, if this trend doesn't continue like we've seen here with the Soviet CV event, with the German battlecruiser event, which will be coming up, of course, in 1010, when the Soviet CV line gets released fully, if they stick the Tier 9 German battlecruiser into a random bundle, that is where I am going to grab my pitchfork. Because that is absolute BS after we just went through the month of August. They should clearly understand that that's not what we want then. But again, if it's a similar event to this, I'm okay with it, honestly. Because again, the game needs to make money. These ships are Techline ships. They'll be available to grind completely for free in a couple of months. And if you don't want to do it, it's not forcing you to do anything because they aren't locked behind a paywall. But again, when they do that with the high tier ships, it's really predatory, really appealing to people's sense of FOMO and wanting to get it now. But stuff like this, I don't see a problem with it. If it continues to be like this, where you understand what you're buying with your money, that's the really big thing to me. Like, if the company wants to charge $200 for a tier 10 premium ship, like with the Napoli, fine. You telling people what to pay up front. It's a simple transaction. There's no smoke and mirrors about it. Plus, it's a coal ship too, so you can get it for free. Like, they're being straightforward with you. That's fine in my book. But when you start with the predatory stuff, the predatory gambling and things like that, that is where you lose me in my book. And I just kind of want to clarify that too, because some of the comments yesterday, of course, and I'm sure there's going to be some really, really, really good humdingers on this one too in the comment section, but that's where the line is drawn for me. And what I want to know is, where's the line drawn for you guys with these early access events? Is it just fine for them to do like they're doing now, where here, grind these tokens out, you get them, you can get most of the ships for free. If you want to get the tier 8, you may have to drop a couple of dollars, but at the end of the day, you don't have to, because, and again, in 2 patches, the whole line's going to come out for free. Or are you not good with these early access events at all, and the line should just come out when they come out? Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below, guys. Just want to have this little debate with you guys and conversation with you guys as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 30,000 subs, just past 28,600 a few days ago. And I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.